your delivery at Raley's.com.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect has the innovative tech and tools that you need. Now get up to $200 off select laptops like the HP Pavilion with Intel i7 processor. Explore more at Staples or staplesconnect.com. In-store only. Offer ends 10/23. Limit 2. Staples Connect, the working and learning store.
Heard about Tecate Alta? Introducing new Tecate Alta. Born without borders. A cerveza suprema with only 84 calories, 2.4 carbs, and Tecate's signature refreshing taste. New Tecate Alta. Cerveza suprema. Beyond expectation. Mexico is in us.
Enjoy Tecate Alta, be responsibly. 2021 imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hot honey, the perfect flavor of sweet and heat. Get it on the hand-breaded chicken sandwich you know, with crispy bacon and melty Swiss. Or if it's morning, hot honey on the hand-breaded chicken biscuits you crave. Honey just got its own stinger. Try it for yourself with the new hot honey hand-breaded chicken lineup now at Carl's Jr.
Feed your happy.
Available for limited time at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Hot honey hand-breaded chicken biscuit is available during regular breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a scary movie victim.
Oh no, a tree fell on my car, and there's only one thing to do. Trip over my own feet and pull myself across the lawn while yelling help at a barely audible volume.
Sorry to interrupt, but you filed a claim with Geico, so you've got a designated claims team to help you.
This Geico sounds suspiciously reassuring. Are you sure I don't end up getting surprised with an unexpected twist?
Just that your Geico team will always be there to keep you updated.
What is it? Oh, nothing. I just didn't see that coming.
Geico, great service without all the drama.
You know a spot, but not just a spot, the spot. Actually, with the all-new Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch of them. One for hitting a trail. One for catching a wave. One where this happened.
Yo, where'd our tent go?
Another where the fish get bigger every time you tell the story. Some spots, you made your mark. Others marked you. And one, okay, let's stay away from that one. But the key to these great spots, being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your Frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier with best-in-class standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281 pound-foot of torque.
You need a specialized healthcare professional who understands the big picture. So, I want to tell you about Revive Men's Health. For the last 10 years, Revive Men's Health has helped tens of thousands of men with clinically backed treatments for low T and ED. Now, Revive Men's Health is bringing this breakthrough approach to weight loss. Revive will create a weight loss plan specifically for you, built on custom nutrition and metabolism-boosting treatments that are backed up by ongoing support to make sure you keep that weight off. Revive Men's Health specializes in custom treatments for men. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rethink your approach to weight loss. To celebrate 10 years of helping improve the lives of men, Revive Men's Health is offering initial consultations for just $49. Call 916-277-8599 to schedule a personalized and confidential consultation today for just $49. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule an appointment.
Bigger than loans and down payments. It's an oasis. A restaurant. A theater. It's home. At Golden One, we get it. Big or small, we work with you to reach your goals. And as a not-for-profit credit union, we'll help you find better loans and rates. So owning your home is more possible than ever. So join us. Let's make your dream home happen. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 669333.
Hey, Tungus, have you heard about the new AM/PM Coffee Club?
What that?
If you join the coffee club on the AM/PM app, every fifth cup is free.
AM/PM giving away coffee?
Well, they gotta get the app.
You get a coffee? You get a coffee?
You have to buy 4
You get a coffee!
Oh, man.
Ooh-ha! Everybody get a coffee!
Reward yourself. Join the coffee club with the AM/PM app and every fifth cup is free. AM/PM, too much good stuff. Buy 4 hot coffee drinks and get a free hot coffee when scanning the AM/PM app. Visit ampm.com/app for details and other restrictions.
Before selecting your health plan, make sure it includes Dignity Health Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital affiliated medical groups. With several locations across Nevada County, it's easy to find a doctor near you who is dedicated to helping you be at your best. Your health is our happiness. Learn more at dignityhealth.org/open enrollment. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24. The sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
150 spooky years, and this Halloween, we're time warping back to the 80s.
Strangers lurk in search of treats, drinks and snacks, meats and sweets. Halloween deals are what you crave. Shop smart and final. Don't be afraid.
This week, 6-ounce packs of blueberries and raspberries and 5.6-ounce packs of blackberries for just $1.50 each.
Smart and final. One trip and that's it.
That's cool, but with my wireless, I get unlimited for just $30. For real.
Impressive. But does yours have 5G included? You know, so you get more bang for your buck?
Give it back, Mom.
Of course, and my wireless saves me $400 a year. Maybe I can finally get that spa treatment.
Or a new playhouse.
Watch out, everyone, because my wireless is #1 in customer satisfaction. And I'm retired. I know satisfaction.
That's because you all have Xfinity Mobile with your internet. It's wireless so good, it keeps one-upping itself.
$30 per line per month. Taxes and fees extra. Compares pricing of top carriers. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds up to 20 gigabits of usage per line. Most reliable based on root metrics US report. Results vary, not an endorsement. Customer satisfaction compared to full service providers in the 2021 ACSI survey based on customers rating their wireless service.
Jim 4. So when our communities are threatened by fire, we're grateful for the firefighters, our heroes, on the front line, risking their lives to save our livelihood. Order a Jim Boy's ground beef taco and Dr. Pepper October 18th through the 24th, and a portion of the proceeds up to $5,000 will be donated to the California Fire Foundation. Find a Jim Boy's Tacos location near you or order online. JimBoysTacos.com. Participating locations only.
Ingredients made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Get ready for some cooler.
Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton at Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and a lot of good old boys around the country. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond in London, England, as well as Paris, France, of course, you good old boys in Canada and Africa, the Big C tribe. But there's no one we love more than the good old boys around the country, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, on a beautiful October the 19th, 2021, ground on the board is Banjo, the Bitty Bitty Beachy. Welcome to the show. Big C Sports is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, just tell them Charlton and Big C sent you, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars. Also, all around the world on 17 podcasts. Let me clear my throat. 17 podcast applications. That's 17. Google, Alexa, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, GeoSavant Podcast, out of London, England, Podtail Podcast, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Online Podcast, Luminary Podcast. Also, there's another app that's coming. I'll speak about that more as they sign. The contract is all fair and level. Where also Big C Sports is available on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. You better have a smart TV, or you'll be sitting there looking at a still picture. Man, I love paying. You know, Ancestry.com, they have their family legacies. You can go into Ancestry.com and find out where you come from, if that makes sense, yeah. And then I want to pay homage to my family legacy on my mother's side. The matriarch of the family, my great-grandmother, called her a mamo, and she was a great person and kept the whole family together, always kept food in the belly. And then so the patriarch is my great-grandfather, Pop, also a former Negro League baseball player, made the best moonshine in the history of the universe. Really appreciate that. Boy, get out of that barn. Heard that a lot growing up. At the same time, did a lot of good things for the family. And then my grandmother, Muddy, a great business mind, and kept the family together. She's also a seer. She can see things, and if you listen to her, you keep your butt out of trouble. Sometimes we learn the hard way. I really appreciate her. And then my grandfather Hezekiah, also along with keeping the family together. My beautiful mother started a Head Start program in North Central California. Give me some praise. Love that. Also helped us win the Little League Championship of the universe. The league championship. All fair and level. Really appreciate my beautiful mother. Always saying rise and shine. Always trying to rise and shine. On my father's side, the matriarch of the family, Alberta Curry. She helped my grandfather start 2 service stations in Oakland, California. Also great at business and helped start the church. Grandfather was also a pastor. My grandmother, the first lady. My father, also a retired United States Air Force mechanic, fighter pilot. Make sure those airplanes can fly high. Said develop your mind to its highest extent. Really appreciate that. It's all fair and level. Then my brother Todd, that's where I get my bombastic voice from. Always speaking with power and passion. That's why I say, let's get ready to rumble. As I say, welcome to the show. Espy nominated Big C Sports Podcast. No scripts, no 3-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. I was watching some Good Old Boys on TV this morning, and the guy was looking up at the ceiling because that's where the teleprompter was. And people were like, man, what are you looking at? Hey, it's all fair and level work. Don't knock it until you try it. I love also paying homage to my son, Malcolm. Sent me some information on the NBA basketball universe. If you don't like NBA basketball, then you need to watch more of it. All fair and level work. Sends me stats on NBA all over it, as well as college basketball. My daughter Daisy has helped me set up a sporting event with college coaches that came to the West Coast. Really appreciate that. And then Big C with his wealth of knowledge over the years. It's all fair and level work. I produce, I direct the topics of the shows. I do all the broadcast, the sound effects. Excuse me, did I break your concentration? I do the commercials outside of what the agency does. I provide the stats. Man, the Dodgers need my help on stats tonight. That's what your Asha Bears are being. I do the storytelling. Guess who's coming to dinner? And I hope they got the Big C burger. It's all fair and level war. I do the play-by-play touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. Or if you're in Boston last night with 2 grand slams, the pitch swung on, curveball, hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends. It's all fair and level war. Man, those Red Sox, they were beating around the Astros like they found somebody cheating. If they want to put a camera, like Alexa, in your room and they'll record everything you say, Alexa. So this good old boy, the Red Sox, found some Alexa devices in their locker room and they took it out on the Houston Astros. It's all fair and level war. You can take it out on the Houston Astros too. Dusty Biggers better get those good old boys right in that ship because they got a big mountain to climb. It's all fair and level war. Then I love quoting God's verses. My favorite, couple of my favorite verses. Genesis 13:15. The God said, "For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever." And another great verse that I love is the book of James 4:2. Said, "We have not because we ask not." So if you want something, just ask. It's all fair and level war. Said hi to Josh Emmett today at Team Alpha Male and United. You know, one of the best UFC fighters in the universe. Really appreciate the great Josh Emmett. And then may he have great success in the UFC. Also, I want to say, I pay homage to our veterans every show. I really appreciate our veterans. And if you know any veterans going through issues, we have a crisis hotline. Everybody's doing it now. 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. I know a lot of kids text now. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. You can definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Really appreciate that. Also very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse, TV of the, well, it used to be first place San Francisco Giants. Well, maybe the Dodgers are having a hangover. I was thinking the Giants or the Dodgers would get out of the NLCS as champion, but maybe, just maybe, them good old boys from Atlanta have a mind of their own, but you can reach out to the Giants when they, you know, I want World Series tickets for next year. You gotta keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. It's all fair in love and war. You know, we have the Big C Team real estate dating app because a lot of people are looking for love in all the wrong places. You want to find love? Go to bigcsports.pacwm.com. You'll find out about how to love real estate. I know everybody, they want to lower their mortgage payment. or they want to buy a house and they want to move into the better neighborhood, it's all fair and level war, and we can help lower your mortgage payment. Most of our loans are underwritten by Rocket Mortgage and United Wholesale Mortgage, the number 1 and 2 lenders in the country on the wholesale side. Our goal is simple: to recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this country, helping put people back to work and put people in houses just like State Farm does it. McDonald's, Nike, car dealerships, sports teams are doing it too. Watch TV and real estate work for you. 800-772-8624. That's BigCSports.pacwm.com, and you can find out more about real estate. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight, Effect TV, for presenting Big C Sports to the universe, just like God said in Genesis 1:3. Boy, you talk too fast. Now, hold on, my producer gave me the wrong script. He said, God said in Genesis 1:3, let there be light. Open your cell phones or your smart devices and say, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see our apps pop up all over the world. Really appreciate that. Also, thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on this game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, eat the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats. Rumor has it tastes better in your mouth than it does in your hands. And I guarantee it. You know, we give the Big C Burger to little kids sometimes because kids are unbiased. Just like the kids that have the snot running down their nose, they don't wipe the snot. They do not wipe the snot. They like it because it tastes better in the mouth than it does in the hand. Now, I'm not saying the Big C Burger is a snotty burger, but it is a tasty burger. It's a tasty burger, and kids can guarantee it. It does taste better in your mouth than it does in your hand. What's all those exotic meats? Got a lot of stuff going on. Super Drive Pro Fantasy Sports by Caesars Entertainment. All purpose. SuperDrivePro.com/Big C Sports. Featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press, RotoWire, and Sportico. Subscribe to unlock the exclusive fantasy games and sports betting experiences with Super Drive Pro, the official fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment. SuperDrivePro.com/Big C Sports. It's all fair and level. We got a lot of good stuff going on in the sports universe. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. NBA basketball starts tonight. Are you ready for some NBA? Well, wait till we come back. We'll talk about some of the power happenings in NBA basketball. And as Doc Rivers told one of his good old boys, he said, Ben Simmons, go home. Ben said, there's no place like home. Like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. Ben said, there's no place like home. It's all fair and level. We're going to take the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on like 17 podcast applications. 18 on the way. It's all fair and level war and 4 TV applications. Really appreciate that. As we say, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. NBA action is fantastic. It's tipping off tonight, but I'm going to come down to the wire and give you I'm going to cover some NBA basketball, just Big C's top, the 30 basketball teams. We're going to touch also on Touchdown Henry. Touchdown Henry. I was saying last night's show, for Tennessee to win the game, you got to get Henry running right. Henry running left. Henry at the 50. He's at the 40. Across the 30. At the 20. The 10. 5. Touchdown! Titans. Eric Henry. 50 yards. That good old boy. Over 140 yards rushing last night. And still scoring touchdowns last night. Hear about it. It's all fair in level war. People want to blame Josh Allen for not getting that first down on 4th and less than a yard. It was the offensive lineman number 73 that got blown up. And that's why he fell into the path of Josh Allen, and that's just a great defensive stand by the Baltimore Ravens. All fair and level. A great game by Buffalo, though, but Baltimore had their number last night. It's all fair and level. Beg your pardon. I said Baltimore. Where am I? Maybe I had too much of my grandfather moonshine. It was the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. It's all fair and level war. It's all fair in level war. Number 1 in Big C's NBA basketball universe. Going to start with the Brooklyn Nets. We last saw them. Kevin Durant's foot was on the line and turned into what looked like a series-winning three-pointer into a Game 7. Kevin Durant for 3! No, his foot was on the line. Oh, my goodness. What a game Durant did his thing. Kind of run out of gas in overtime, but you got to give it to Milwaukee. They got it done last year. You're looking at what the a lot of good old boys. When you think about who they need in that team, they need Durant, they need James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Joe Harris can do his thing too. They got Patty Mills was the most impactful offseason move, the signing of Patty Mills. They're going to be just fine. They just got to keep their foot off the line when they're shooting 4 threes. All fair in love and war. I'm going to bring out the number 2 team in Big C's NBA top 30. It's all fair in love and war. I'm going to go. I know some people don't agree with what I'm going to say, but I just feel that life is about making moves, and it's about opportunities. When you have a legacy of winning, you find it. I'm going to go number 2 in Big C's NBA top 30, the Los Angeles Lakers. We last saw them adding a 4th championship to the resume in 2020. King LeBron James had a first-round exit from the playoffs for the first time in his career, but a lot of injuries happened. The Suns outshine because of the injuries. They were able to put away the Lakers in 6 games. It's all fair in love and war. I'm still looking at the Lakers to do their thing and win the NBA Western Conference Championship this year. I don't know if they have enough to top the Nets unless Kyrie does a Ben Simmons and goes home. But the Lakers, they need LeBron James to do his thing, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. That's the big 3. The most impactful offseason was adding Russell Westbrook. The Lakers completely overhauled his roster by getting to, he's a 3-point machine. He's a triple-double machine. And Westbrook is a 5-team trade deal that had some people moving. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and 2021 first-round draft pick. I'm telling you, the 2007 MVP averaged a triple-double in 4 of the past 5 seasons. It gives LA another big playmaker. And then you look at Alex Caruso in the process of accommodating Westbrook's massive $44 million salary. The Lakers' money's like handshakes. They got all of it. They just got to win another 18th championship. That's what they're about, and that's what they're going to try to do this year. We'll see what happens if they can get it done. I don't want to be too disrespectful because I know people say, wait a minute, what about the defending NBA champions of the universe? The Milwaukee Bucks coming in at Big C's number 3. We last saw them. They brought home the NBA championship for the first time since 1971. Give them good old boys some praise. Brought to you by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meats? The exotic meats, the Milwaukee Bucks. The King Giannis Antetokounmpo, 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks in Game 6 against the Phoenix Suns, and then Giannis sealed the championship. One of the greatest statements of the game, I think, in franchise history. Giannis is an amazing athlete. He's amazing. He's only going to get better. They need Giannis. They need Chris Middleton. They need Drew Holiday to do their thing. The biggest move Big C's thoughts offseason is they lost P.J. Tucker. I thought he was a menace on defense. He could get in your face. He was built like a football player. They're going to lose that. They're going to bring back virtually everybody else on their roster, keeping the championship core intact. But I think they lose a guy who's a difference maker with attitude that did not mind getting into the face of Kevin Durant or anybody else that came into the paint against the Milwaukee Bucks. That might cost them down the stretch, but we'll see what happens. Now, I know everybody has their own opinion about who goes where and what teams have the best chance of repeating. I kind of do this with clutch teeth. The Utah Jazz, we last saw them after posting the NBA's best record during the regular season last year. The Jazz failed again to get out of the second round, which is a far cry from what they want. They want to advance. Who they need to do their thing? Donovan Mitchell, the great Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley. They need Joe Ingles, and that's just my opinion. They got to have those guys play. The most impactful offseason move. They signed the great Rudy Gay. The Jazz using their taxpayer exception to sign Gay in hopes that the 35-year-old forward would be a big splash in helping that team get over the hump. It's not easy to get back when you have the best record, so they're probably not going to go back-to-back with the best record, but they are definitely one of the better teams in the NBA. I'm going to give them some praise. All friend level war in a small market, but they did manage to get the best record. But it's not the best record. It's the team standing at the end that counts. All friend level war. I'm going to go. The Phoenix Suns is the next team that I'm going to bring you. I like the Knicks. I like the Lakers, and I even like the Jazz. I'm going to bring in the Phoenix Suns. I like Milwaukee. There's a lot of good teams, but I'm going to put the Phoenix Suns in here also. Put them at a number 5. Last saw them the Suns rip through the Western Conference playoffs, 12-4 record, and make the NBA Finals after taking a 2-0 lead in the finals. Then they kind of welter in their own heat, if that makes sense to you. They got too close to the oven. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So they decided to get out of the kitchen. You need Chris Paul to do his thing. Devin Booker, he's a young man rising. DeAndre Ayton, got to have some of that more of that mentality of a Wilt Chamberlain or the erstwhile, I've been saying, even if you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, no, he's not those two guys. But you need someone to have a little bit more meat on his shoulders. Maybe lift weights with Dwight Howard. He's doing his thing. And Mikal Bridges can also play. I think the most impactful offseason move, signing Chris Paul to the extension. Like a good neighbor, Chris Paul is there. Give him some praise. So he's pivotal to the Phoenix success as the season goes on. And the team gave him an extension. I think you got to keep him happy because he's like another coach on the floor. I really like what Williams put together last year in Phoenix. So that's my top 5. I'm going to go to number 6 in Big C's NBA. We're not going to get to all 30 teams today. But like I said, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I heard that before someplace. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. The Miami Heat coming in at Big C's number 6. Last saw the Heat get swept out of the first round of the playoffs by the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks. So they were in the way of a big old guy by the name of King Giannis Antetokounmpo, and everybody succumbed to the King. So after refilling their roster with some veteran players, Kyle Lowry, P.J. Tucker, Markieff Morris, I think the Heat are ready to make another run. Remember, they lost to the Lakers in the bubble, the NBA Finals. You have Jimmy Butler, he'll do his thing. Bam Adebayo will be back doing his thing. The great Kyle Lowry, and then Duncan Robinson also doing his thing, all fair and level work. Got to keep the Heat happy. Most important move, I think they added in of Kyle Lowry. The former Raptors' strong relationship with the Heat star Jimmy Butler is going to mean a lot. Tyler Herro got to do his thing also for the Miami Heat. They just got to stay healthy. And if they can stay healthy, then I think they'll be happy. Give the Miami Heat some praise. Give us some praise for the Miami Heat. And they play in one of the most beautiful cities in the NBA. That doesn't hurt. I'm going to take you Big C's number 7, the Denver Nuggets. That's my thought. Big C's number 7 team in the NBA basketball universe. Denver Nuggets, last year's MVP. We just saw Nikola Jokic win the MVP, even though he was not the best player. Out of a 4-game sweep in the hands of the Suns in the conference semifinals without Jamal Murray. And the Nuggets are no match for the Suns last year. And now Denver waits to see when Murray will be ready to return after the torn ACL suffered in mid-April. You got to have the Joker do his thing. Michael Porter Jr., he has to show up. Aaron Gordon has to grow bigger. And then Will Barton. I think the most impactful offseason move, Michael Porter Jr., that extension. The Nuggets secured a big part of their future by signing Porter to a 5-year designated maximum extension that could be worth about $207 million with Murray out. I mean, they got to have Porter average 19 points, 7.3 rebounds. He shot 45% from 3, and he's stepping up to make another big year. I think it's going to help Denver a lot, but they're not going to get out of the West. It's always good to have a good talk, but money talks. And Hawks fly. Big C's number 8, man. Yeah, I know you love how I led that. The Atlanta Hawks. Last saw the Hawks. Oh, the Hawks! Atlanta Hawks! Atlanta Hawks! Hold on. Is that Peyton Manning sign? Atlanta Hawks! Atlanta Hawks! No, that's Omaha. Well, I'm not talking about football. I'm talking basketball. Atlanta Hawks! Atlanta Hawks! That's my battle cry for the birds of Alfred Hitchcock. Last time we saw them, the Hawks made believers out of everybody in New York. They even got flipped off. You ever get flipped off in New York City? All you got to do is go there. You'll probably what happened to you eventually. But we last saw them, many of the NBA last postseason saw their run with the conference finals after taking the Knicks to Game 5. And then they knocked off the Sixers in 7. And they were tied at 2 with the eventual NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks before the Hawks came down to earth. Trae Young getting weight room a little bit. Just a little bit. It won't hurt you. Steph Curry bulked up. Michael Jordan bulked up. A lot of guys bulk up and they play better. Trae Young, get in the weight room. He has a great basket, but he has to get a little bit stronger. John Collins has to do his thing. The great Clint Capella, I like him a lot. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kevin Huerter, Daniele Gallinari. I think the biggest move for Nate McMillan in the offseason was to move the coaching to a long-term deal. They finally signed him to a long deal. The Hawks finished the regular season 27-11. It was a no-brainer. They got McMillan signed. I think he has the right attitude. He has the chemistry. He's a no-nonsense coach, and it gets guys to play at their maximum. But get Trae Young to lift a little bit more weights, and you might hear, Trae for 3! It doesn't hurt him to put another 10 pounds. Philadelphia 76ers. Well, feeling like this Philadelphia freedom. I love that song, the great Elton John. Shine a light, shine a light. Come on, y'all. Shine a light. Won't you shine a light? Come on. Philadelphia freedom. And then Doc Rivers said, Ben, go home. You don't want to practice, take your butt home. He said, Philadelphia freedom. Last time we saw him, Ben Simmons was passing up wide open dunks and didn't even want to practice today. Who in the heck wants to bring that into their organization? You're going to tell the coach you don't want to play? Doc Rivers, an NBA champion, going to be a Hall of Famer? Come on. And you tell him you don't want to listen to him? Who's going to take on that headache? Somebody will. There's a fool born every minute. But anyway, the Eastern Conference semifinals, a moment that helped the 76ers decide what they're going to do. They should have got rid of Simmons. It's one thing to have a guy that's afraid to shoot, but when he's going to tell you he doesn't want to practice, what are you doing with on your team? They need Joel Embiid to do his thing, Tobias Harris and Seth Curry, and they probably got to realize, let Ben Simmons go. Let him go. Get somebody who wants to be there. I want winners. I can't take guys who don't want to win. Can't stand them. Can't do it. Mike Singletary talked to Doc Rivers. Let the guy go. Don't chase people who don't see your value. He doesn't want to play NBA basketball. Maybe he wants to work at Home Depot. It's all fair in love and war. I think the biggest thing for the Sixers is what's going to happen with Simmons. Get him out. Get him out. Get out. You all saw the movie Get Out. They don't say stay in. They say get out. He doesn't want to be there. Let him go. And that's my opinion. The more they keep him, the more it's going to hurt the chemistry of that team. We're going to move on to Big C's NBA power rankings. I'm going to bring you the Dallas Mavericks. I really think Dallas is on the upswing. Last time we saw the Dallas without a playoff series victory was extended to a full decade of a first-round loss to LA Clippers. Despite going up 2-0, a pair of road wins, and the crowd was going nuts in Dallas. J.R. Ewing's house was rocking. But the Clippers said, not so fast, my friend. The great Luka Doncic, he's a great player. And he's been a one-man show at times. But you got to have him stop complaining so much and show the moxie of a champion and not complaining for a foul every time someone looks at him. He's not going to get that call. They need Luka. They need Kristaps Porzingis to do it. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., that good old boy can shoot. He can do his thing. He has to get more physical, in my opinion. The great Olivia Newton-John. I think the biggest impact hiring Jason Kidd, Mark Cuban's coaching search. It focused on the candidate from the start, Jason Kidd, former Dallas Maverick, won an NBA championship with the great Dirk Nowitzki, and then returns to Dallas with a Hall of Fame resume, a point guard, mixed reviews as the head coach, some people say, but not everybody wins right away. Kidd replaces Rick Carlisle, whose resignation after 13 seasons was an acknowledgement that he was ready to move on. As all fair in level war. Kidd is 183 and 190 in a brief coaching stint. But wait a minute. If he was able to coach, say, a team like the Golden State Warriors, think about it. Everybody would look good. You give the man a chance, I think he's going to have a fine year this year. I'm going to bring you to another team in Big C's NBA power rankings. The Splash Brothers are back. The Golden State Warriors come out and play. Steph Curry, 4-3. Klay Thompson, 4-3. Golden State Warriors, they are back in the action. Last time we saw them, they got the hot end of the season and then earned their way into the playoffs tournament by 2 close losses to the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Ended their season. Steph Curry, give that brother some 3. Give Curry for 3. Charlton Curry for 3. Charlton. It's Steph Curry for 3. No, man, let me live in my limelight. Sometimes my producer just doesn't listen to me. I want to say Charlton Curry for 3. Oh, Steph Curry. It's all fair. In level war. He has his Splash brother back with the Klay Thompson. The Western Conference is a healthy conference. And these two good old boys, they deserve the Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all these exotic meats. And Steph Curry knows the exotic meats. All fair in level war. They need Steph Curry to do his thing. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Wiggins. I think the biggest thing Golden State offseason is adding to their bench around Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. These boys can play basketball up and down the court. They're not that far from being one of the top 3 in the Western Conference. Of course, I like the Lakers. And, of course, you got to think Phoenix is right up there, too. But Golden State, they can challenge Utah. They can challenge Denver. They can challenge those teams. I really like what they've done. And, the reworked bench sitting around Andre Iguodala, Otto Porter Jr. They're going to be a good team this year. It's going to be good to see basketball back at Chase Center. I'll be able to cover some games at Chase Center in beautiful downtown San Francisco. I'm going to take you down south on Interstate 5, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Claw is back. The Claw is back. It's all fair and level war. Kawhi Leonard watching the Clippers reach their first Western Conference Finals and fell 2 wins short of the finals. The end of the season with expectations of winning, and Leonard is expected to be sidelined for much of the season after surgery to repair a partially torn right ACL. But they showed that they could play last year. They have Paul George, who became King Paul George. I think the most impactful, obviously, the move. Re-signing Reggie Jackson, not the former baseball player. He hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. But Reggie Jackson for 3. They got that Reggie Jackson, and I think it's going to help the Clippers. They have a lot to prove. They've unveiled the new layout of their new stadium coming up. So this is the team that's looking forward to having a lot of success and a lot of bright things coming. So put aside Kawhi Leonard resigning as a free agent since he's injured. The Clippers keeping Jackson going to be impactful on and off the court. I think coming off a big postseason run, Jackson could be the Clippers' second leading scorer this season. But you got to give your props to King Paul George out of Palmdale, Lancaster, California, Antelope Valley, and Fresno State. With Leonard out, indefinitely, Jackson will look to match the top 18 points per game that he averaged in the postseason. And I think, George showed that he's a first ballot. Okay, Hall of Famer, everybody says Hall of Fame. But he showed it. That ghetto boy proved it. I think they're going to be fine. They have a breakout candidate, Terrence Mann. Should play well this year for the Clippers. I really like what Tyrone Lewis put together. This is the team. They're never going to replace LA as LA's favorite team. But they have a good spot in NBA Western Conference, even without Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion. Number 13 in the NBA basketball universe, 17-time world champion, Boston Celtics, the voice of the great Johnny Buss. When we last saw the Boston Celtics after a quick playoff exit, the Celtics, one of the NBA's most stable franchises, made some drastic changes. Danny Ainge retiring was one of them. Sad to see him go. A former head coach, Brad Stevens, becoming the president of basketball operations in his place. And then Ime Udoka being hired as the next coach. I think he has a great cast. You got to get the ball to Jason Tatum. Give Jason Tatum some praise. That good boy, one of the best players in the NBA. Jaylen Brown could do his thing. Marcus Smart, he brings that attitude, that swagger that you need. I think the biggest thing for them in the offseason, hiring Ime Udoka. The Celtics made a host of moves in this offseason, including swapping Kemba Walker for Al Horford, trading Josh Richardson, and signing Dennis Schroeder. I think Udoka's impact on the team is going to be instantly felt in Boston. I think the Celtics have a great team. They have a new direction now, a new attitude, and I think they'll be one of the teams that will make some noise in the East. Not really challenging Boston, but Boston got to challenge themselves to push and knock the Nets out of the realm of being the better team. Just my opinion. I know the Hawks are coming up. The Milwaukee Bucks are good, but Boston has 17 championships, and that says something, even though they haven't won one since Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett said, anything's possible! Yeah, anything is possible. I think the Celtics will have a good team this year. Now listen, last year was not a fluke. The great Elbow Cool J, don't call it a comeback. Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Herald Club this morning? Yeah, the New York Knicks. The last time we saw them, regular season, they were doing their thing. They were cussing out Trae Young. No, that was the fans. That had nothing to do with the Knicks. Wash the mouth out with soap. But the New York Knicks on the court, they were humbled by Trae Young and the Hawks in the first round. They added Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. And they got to figure out things because they have to play better when it counts. Julius Randle was up for MVP. Kemba Walker's amazing. Derrick Rose is still doing his thing. Give Derrick Rose some praise. A guy that's come back from injury and just found a way to keep rising. And then Mitchell Robinson. I think the biggest impact can be Kemba Walker. That's if Walker can stay healthy. The Knicks took a big look at Coach Tom Thibodeau and realized that they have all the makings. They have all the makings of a team that can win a championship. But you got to find a way to do it. You can't just talk about it. They have so much to play for. I really love what the Knicks did in bringing basketball back to Madison Square Garden and making basketball relevant. I think Nate Robinson and DJ Augustin in the past, imagine what he could do with Walker. Everybody has to, you gotta love when New York is back with basketball. I know the Nets are different, but they're in Brooklyn. When New York Knicks are playing, basketball is just better. Just like when the Lakers are good, it's better. I want to bring you out to the West Coast. Portland Trailblazers, they're all fair and level where they're not going to win a championship. I thought Dalla Dame was going to look to transplant. The Great Northwest might lose Dalla Dame and Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson in the next 2 or 3 years. Do you see Russell Wilson stay with the Seattle Seahawks after that injury, seeing how they're struggling without him? No. Dalla Dame, why stay in Portland? It's all fair level work, but Dalla Dame had frustration. 34 points per game, 10.2 assists. Not enough to help the Blazers knock off the shorthanded Nuggets in the first round. And Damian Lillard, obviously, you need him. C.J. McCollum's good. Yusuf Nurkic is great. Robert Covington's good. Norman Powell's good. I think the biggest hiring, controversial hiring, bringing in Chauncey Billups, everybody has some junk in their background. I mean, a lot of junk in Chauncey Billups' background. If they can get past that, and they seem to have, Billups replaced Terry Stotts as coach. General manager Neil Osley laid the blame on the first round loss on finishing 29th in defense, and that's why he was replaced. He was always in the playoffs with Stotts. Wish him nothing but the best. Billups, he gotta have to win to put some of that negative press behind him, because it's all fair and level war, and I'm just being real. Memphis Grizzlies coming in number 16, Big C's NBA top. I was going to say top 30, but I may finish some more tomorrow because I do want to touch on some football and some baseball. But the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm just going to run down some things to be fair to the football and baseball. Universe John Morant, got to have him doing his thing. Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks out of Oregon, and Steven Adams. I really like that young team. Man, they're a good team down in Memphis. Almost as good as touchdown Derrick Henry. Touchdown Henry. All fair and level war. You have replaces. You have trading for Steven Adams. Got rid of Jonas Valanciunas in the Grizzlies starting lineup. I think Zion Williams is going to be in the draft spot, number 10 in the draft spot, selected forward Zion Williams. Got some growing to do. They're going to have DeAnthony Melton. He's going to have a breakout. The biggest benefit, trading Grayson Allen. That's my opinion. You had to get rid of him. But Morant, the man is amazing. I think as long as they can build a team around him, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for Memphis. It's a market that loves football more than basketball. But you think about it, good old boy, it's a lot of good basketball happening down there. I really like what they built. Charlotte Hornets coming in number 17 at Big C's Power 30. And we just saw them last year, made the play-in tournament where we bounced right away, the Celtics. And the hopes of the Hornets near their young, talented roster led by veteran Trey Rozier and Gordon Hayward and LaMelo Ball. How about the Ball brothers? Everybody was jumping on the dad for not being a good father, but man, his kids have turned out to be all NBA basketball players. Got to have LaMelo Ball do his thing. Gordon Hayward has to shine. Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges. I think adding Kelly Oubre Jr., swingman, and can get up and down the court. We did it with the Warriors last year, who had to bring that same energy to help that young team grow. LaMelo Ball, man, he's like a Magic Johnson passing the ball. I mean, you don't know where the ball's going, but you know it's going to go somewhere to his own teammates. That's a good old boy that can do his thing. Really looking forward to seeing him as he puts on some size in the weight room also. Number 18, Big C's NBA Power Rankings, Indiana Pacers. You think about what they've done. They were optimistic that a coaching change would help maximize their roster. They got to have some players step up. Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, Malcolm Bridges, Karis LeVert. Most impactful thing, hiring Coach Rick Carlisle as coach. Got out of Dallas, went up to Indiana, and now he's going to see if he can help them. The Pacers are counting on a coaching change to solve their problems. That might be a problem in itself. The players make the game, not the coach. You can ask a lot of players and coaches who would you rather have, a coach or a player. Everybody wants big-time players. The Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. Remember those days? Those days are long gone. The Bulls made a win, now moved in the trade to acquire Nikolai Vucevic, and then led nearly as many wins as anticipated second-year coach Zach LaVine. Missed 11 games down the stretch. You got to have players Zach LaVine, Nikolai Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Lonzo Ball. Another one of those Ball brothers. Give the California boys some praise. doing their thing. I think they have almost completed their team. Levine, Kobe White, and Patrick Williams remain in the roster, and they're going to have some other players that are going to come on and see if they can help them. You know, they immediately become the team's best point guard since Derrick Rose, a solid defender on the short team, fell short of them and passing on to help their offense flow. We're just going to see how well they play in the season coming up, but I don't expect a lot out of Chicago. I'm going to take you down the stretch. Toronto Raptors, got to have them do their thing. Last saw the Raptors had a nightmare of a season, having to play a full year on the road in Tampa because of COVID-19. Now they get back to their own, cooking their own bed. Then franchise out. You know, Kyle Lowry left in free agency. They did get a lottery pick, but good luck moving up Scotty Barnes. They got to have guys like Pascal Siakam do his thing. Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby, they got to play. I think heading to the last season wouldn't have been Toronto's widening up for the top 5 pick, but that's what's happened. Pascal Siakam has to play better this year for that team. Got to take on a leadership role like the great Kawhi Leonard did a couple years ago when they won a championship. So that's for our good old boys north of the border. Really looking forward to them making some noise. It's all fair and level. Where Washington Wizards going to bring them in, number 21, and Big C's NBA Power 30. Got to do their thing. All fair and level war. When you think about it, Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook duo didn't work the way they wanted it to be. So Westbrook's now in LA with the Lakers. Bradley Beal and Spencer Dinwiddie, not the same combination. Westbrook and Wizard was a Wizard for the record-breaking season and moved past Hall of Famer, the great Oscar Robertson. Give him some praise. Give both some praise. The Big O and Russell Westbrook, give them praise. But when you think about it, the Wizards turned the opportunity to adding Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and I think it's going to help them somewhat. And we'll see if they can move the ball around more and have that team even snitch at a playoff spot. Minnesota Timberwolves, number 22 for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, the first full season of Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell duo did not lead to a lot of success. It could turn things around Minnesota. They're just going to be in the bottom for a while. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, they got to shine. Without any real cap space to work with, Minnesota's going to be kind of, if you call it rebuilding. How do you rebuild when you got the big cat? He needs to be on a team that can win now. It's not going to happen in Minnesota. I'm going to bring you up north to Sacramento Kings. I'm saying they're going to end their playoff drought this year. 14 years is a long time. We saw Sacramento finish the season 31-41. They got to turn that around to 41-31. 2 games out of the play-in tournament after losing 4 of his last 6 games down the stretch. It was an identical record as the season before. But the Kings have more consistency this year. De'Aaron Fox is going to have a breakout season. Northern California, De'Aaron Fox, a breakout season for him. And then Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton, they got to have some chemistry there. Drafting Davion Mitchell, the Kings selected Mitchell out of Baylor with the number 9 pick in the draft. I think it's going to add some ruggedness. He had a lot of defense to bring with him. They got to keep Fox, Halliburton, and Hield ready to shoot for a 3. They got to shoot the 3 and drive the basket also. The Kings make the playoffs this year. Just my opinion. I'm going to go to, as we finish out on Big C's NBA Top 30, New Orleans Pelicans. We have the great Zion Williamson. Disappointing finish for them. They missed the playoff tournament. Williamson and Bragdon, Ingram, others suffered late season injuries that knocked New Orleans playoff hopes and the playoff push in the tank. You know, there's always injuries. Can Zion even get healthy again? But he's a star name. They got to keep him. Ingram, Devontae Graham, Jonas Valanciunas, they got to keep those guys great. Point guard position under new ownership with the Pelicans swapping out Alonzo Ball for Graham, and Ball was dealt to a sign-and trade with Chicago, signed a 4-year, $80 million deal. The Pelicans acquired Graham in a sign-and trade, $47 million contract. We'll see if they can turn things around down in New Orleans. Quit eating all that sugar. Eat the Big C burger instead. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all this exotic meats down in New Orleans. They know about their exotic meats. Them good old boys. Gotta see how well they rebound. San Antonio Spurs coming in at number 25. Last time we saw them, second straight season. Spurs failed to make the playoffs, so they stumbled 33-39. What a joke. I hate to say that, but it's all fair level where Dejounte Murray, that's the star impact player right now. They lost DeMar DeRozan. And, you know, San Antonio, this team has been doing this thing for 2 decades. It's going to be tough seeing them kind of mopping up the floor, but sometimes that's what happens down in San Antonio. All that sweat down in that heat and humidity. Number 26, Cleveland. This is for you, Big C's. NBA Power 30. Cleveland bringing them in at number 26. The Cavs were continuing to count the rough stretch since LeBron James went for LA, as a lot of people do. He loves LA. Cleveland managed to win just 60 games over the past 3 seasons. That's not good. Not good at all. They got Colin Sexton. He was a lot of hype behind him. The great Jared Allen. They had a Lauri Markkanen and then Darius Garland. I think the impact is drafting Evan Mobley, but this is a team, they're rebuilding in Cleveland. All those landed Cleveland in the number 3's pick by having a bad season. We'll see what happens. They're not going to get back to the playoffs this year, but they are still playing basketball last I checked. Number 27, the Detroit Bad Boys, the Detroit Pistons. All fair and level war. We last saw the Pistons veterans, mostly notably Jeremy Grant, with an eye on the lottery. Emphasis is paid off. Detroit landed the number 1 pick in Cade Cunningham. We'll see if it matters. They got to get Jeremy Grant and Cade Cunningham to do their thing. That was the most impactful move, getting Cade Cunningham in the NBA lottery. When you think about it, they have, after adding Cunningham, gives the Pistons a potential focal point for a team that landed 2 quality role players in Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. But they're not the Detroit Bad Boys. Maybe they should give Dennis Rodman a tryout, bring some moxie to that team. It's all fair and level work. I'm going to bring you down to the final count, the Houston Rockets. The Rockets forced into a rebuild with James Harden out of the trade to get out of there. He said, get me out. He wanted out. Houston got some good fortune in the lottery pick, landed number 2 overall pick with a coin flip, and fell to number 5, which, is going to help them also. They have Christian Wood, John Wall, and Jalen Green. I think the most impactful move, drafting first. They have 4 first-round picks. They got to try to build that into something, but it's going to take time for Houston because the ownership right down there in the Southwest, nobody likes them. Orlando, do you believe in magic? Yes, we do, but not the Orlando Magic. All fair level war. The Magic finished 21-51 in the season, marred by a lot of bad things down there. Jonathan Isaac's knee injury in the bubble, Markelle Fultz knee injury. You may say no more. They just have a lot of things they have to get better. They drafted Jalen Suggs. That could help, but they're a bottom dweller. The addition of Suggs to the Magic's young core gave them at least a mirage of hope. But you got more hope going to Disney World. I'm going to Disney World. I thought you were going to see the Magic play. I'm going to Disney World. It's all fair and level work. Coming up the back end, I'm going to bring in Big C's NBA Power 30. Oklahoma City on cue. The Thunder. It's already the OKC Thunder. All fair level war. They were historically bad in April and May, going 2-23. They're still beating the LA Clippers in the season final. Proved costly for the Thunder. They dropped out of the tie for 4th in the NBA lottery. They couldn't even do that right. The most impactful move is they draft in Josh Giddey, although they have a lot to overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday for Gil Haddo. Everybody's fair level war. Orlando Magic and also the Oklahoma City Thunder is all fair and level war. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of what's going on in baseball. And are you ready for some football? Touchdown, Henry! Touchdown, Henry! Touchdown, Henry! We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 17 podcast applications all over the universe and 4 TV applications. It's all fair and level war. Are you ready for some baseball? Last night, the Red Sox were the 12-3 beatdown of the Houston Astros, and they beat them like they were stealing something, like stealing signals. It's all fair and level war. Hey, Dusty's going to get those good old boys back. But, man, they're up against it. Boston looking really strong. They've been hitting the leather off the ball against the Houston Astros. Will look good in the first game, but since then it's been Boston got them a mind trick going on. I want to take you out to L.A., and the Dodgers are in they got to win today. I know, the game's already, I don't want to give out scores, but you got to look at the Braves and you look at the Dodgers, and these two great franchises. Last year, the Dodgers were able to come back from down 2 games. Actually, it was 3-1, and they were able to come back. But I don't give out when it comes to scores, because a lot of people are still recording games, but the Dodgers and the Braves, anything can happen, but you gotta win your home games if you're the Dodgers, and you gotta win on the road if you're the Braves. How about that for teasing? Hit deep, right field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend. It's all fair in love and war. You gotta be able to hit deep, and it's all fair in love and war. But I really appreciate when we watch baseball being played the way that it's supposed to be played. And I love the pitchers. We have some Hall of Fame pitchers. And when you look at what the Dodgers throw out there, as well as what the Braves can throw out, you got Hall of Fame pitchers. So I look at what we have right now. If you're a baseball fan and you really know what you have going for it, we don't know who's going to win. We just don't know. You got Boston, and they have you can say a stranglehold, but that makes sense to you on the Astros for Houston. But when you think about it, it's all about baseball. That game just started. The Red Sox lead the series 2-1. Astros down 1-2. And it's all about how you're going to respond. Everybody wants to see great baseball. I mean, we got the Dodgers and the Braves. I'm not going to get into who, because the games are going on right now as we speak. Dodgers game is wrapping up. But the Red Sox, and also, I mean, I like both of them. I like the Red Sox and the Astros. I wanted to see Dusty advance with the Astros, but we'll see what happens. I wanted to see a team from the West Coast. That would be the Dodgers. But them good boys down in Atlanta, they do their thing too. I wish everybody well. It doesn't matter to me because the Giants are out. I wish them all the best, and I know the best will happen. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. I love for Major League Baseball, but I won't give away too much because I know people have things recorded. But I want to say last night, down in the South, moonshine was flowing. It was overflowing. The moonshine, I think it was moonshine. It was something that was flowing down south. It was touchdown Henry, touchdown Henry, touchdown Henry. A 31-30, actually a 34-31 win. The Tennessee Titans knock off the Buffalo Bills. If you think about it, it was a signature win, 34-31 over the Buffalo Bills. It was Monday Night Football, running back touchdown. Derrick Henry had an incredible performance, as he always seems to. The Titans running back became just the third player in NFL history with 750 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns through the first 6 weeks. Give that brother some praise. Isn't that something? He joined Jim Brown in 1958 and Eric Dickerson in 1983. Them good boys are Hall of Famers. Give him some praise. Henry's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He jump-started the Titans offense early in the second quarter, 29 yards of offense, trailing 6-0. The former Heisman Trophy winner found the scene in the Bills secondary. It was touchdown Henry. Oh my goodness, at the 25, across the 30, across the 40, at the 50, at the 40, down inside the 30, cuts it back at the 25, at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Titans, Derrick Henry, 76 yards. 76 yards, and he was bringing kids. They were holding on to him, saying, Henry, please fall down. Please fall. He said, no, I'm not falling down. 20 carries, 143 yards. He's passed 100 yards rushing mark for the 5th straight game. 5th straight game, give that man the ball. Not that heavy. Think about it. Monday, that Buffalo Bill defense was tough. The Titans running back averaged under 64 yards per game in 3 previous matchups with Buffalo, but not this time. He got his chest in the win. He said, who's that man who wrecked the buffet at the Herod Club this morning? I'm really proud of the way he runs the ball. I love watching the guy run and people make decisions. Do I tackle him or do I pretend I slipped? It's all fair and love war. Aside from Henry, the Titans' offense is great. They've been inconsistent at times, and great at times too. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill, just 4 of 12, 71 yards at halftime before finding a connection to A.J. Brown in the second half. But if you go to that game, you want to watch touchdown Henry. They had a statement win, and they got to play, I think they're playing Kansas City on Sunday. So it's going to have a come-to-Jesus moment. But you got touchdown Henry and Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win that game. But do I love watching touchdown Henry run the ball? You betcha. He's running left, across the 50, cuts back at the 40, at the 30, has the beat at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Titans, Derrick Henry, 50 yards. That good a boy can do his thing. He won't be the MVP because that goes to quarterbacks, mostly Superman Jackson. Just my opinion. Back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Budini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali as a right-hand man. He would always say, Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee. You rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I float like a butterfly because I eat all these Big C burgers with all these exotic meats. They make me taste so good on my feet. I'm light on my feet, I'm pretty, I can't possibly be beat because I got so many Big C burgers in my stomach. I love that. Yeah, I love Ali. My mother always says there's no excuse for racism or domestic violence. You hear that, John Gruden? No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. As we always tell you, if anybody's going through crap, just pick up the phone and ask for help because no one should ever have to do it on their own. As we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.